Hey fam, welcome or welcome back. Tisha here, back for our first recap of Sister Wives Season 20, Episode 1, Why I Want to Be a Monogamist. I'm not quite sure how I'm feeling about this season with this first episode. The thumbnail alone already ticked me off. Having Cody and Robin, the feathered crew, be so huge while the OG three are smaller and in the back, it really has me feeling like they are about to try to push them down our throats. It has me questioning if I really, really want to subject myself to this. Now, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not. But we already know that he's not questioning whether or not he wants to be a monogamist. So to spend a good 15 minutes talking about something that he already told us in the tell all that's not so tell all, that he wasn't going to be being a polygamist, why are we even having this conversation? It's like they forget what they show us, or because they keep filming and then they have the tell all in the middle without really wrapping things up, it ends up being a whole cluster F of mess. Yeah. It's the same stuff again. And a lot of the same things that we've already seen them talk about, but it's just in a different font. So go ahead and do me a favor and hit the like button as we jump into this. I will be skipping parts. If it's something that you want to talk about, feel free to put it down below. So we begin the episode in Flagstaff, and we're actually getting some shots of inside the nest, okay? Bald Eagle is going through all these emotions, he claims. Sometimes he's feeling vengeful and angry, and there is others where he is feeling kind. My guess is that they no longer have a nanny because Cody is helping Saul and Ari getting ready for school. Something that we know for a fact that he's never done with his kids. He even later admits it as TLC shows us footage saying that he wasn't there, but he's saying it's because of work, even though we know that there was a period where it had nothing to do with work. And it was that he just didn't want to be there because once they got the first big check from this show, I do believe, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that Cody kind of slacked off with the work thing. They were doing some type of marketing thing, but it didn't require his presence like that. His main job became filming. For whatever reason, he claims that he and Janelle are good. I don't think that he and Janelle are good. I think that he and Janelle are at a place where she tolerates him for the moments that she sees him. And once she doesn't see him anymore, it's out of sight, out of mind. Mary, they don't talk as much, so they're not that good. Christine, I'm going to say that they don't talk at all because he says that they only communicate when it comes to arranging pickup with Truly. And we already know that he barely gets her. So you're barely talking to her if you don't even really get your child. Now he is claiming that he actually, after thinking about it, did love his wives. I don't believe it. Okay, no. I think he is. No, I was going to lie and say I think he loved them. I don't think he loved them. At one point, I thought that he loved them, but he wasn't in love with them. Now I don't even know if he loved them. I know some people may feel otherwise. Put it down below. So we cut to the bird, right? She tells us that for the most part, it's just her, Cody, and their kids. She says that she nags him about interacting with his other kids, but when she does, he pushes back and says he needs space. Put down below if you all believe that Robin talks about him reconnecting with his kids other than the one time that we saw her do it on camera. Because I don't believe it. I don't buy it. As much as he claims to love Robin, and as much as we've seen him do certain things for Robin, I think it's if it was something that she genuinely pushed, that we would see him change a little bit. But I don't think that she says it that much. I think that she might have said it maybe one or two times, and it was both when she was being filmed. So I don't trust it. But that could just be because I don't like her. So now things she says are really different because Cody is there a lot more. He was always there, girl. Always. It's just now he is spending even more time in the house, but you should have been used to that from the pandemic. So Cody's like, things are different, that they were special in Lehigh. He doesn't feel like they chose monogamy, and neither does his bird. Cody, because they no longer are in a polygamous situation, is worried about how this will affect the way that the bird views him. He's worried about how Robin sees him. We've already heard this. This is what I'm saying about the same conversation over and over and over again. He says because in their community, it's frowned upon when you lose wives. And at this point, as the rings show us in the first image, all three of those rings have dropped. But we don't care. And I'm skipping over a lot of it because I don't care. I just don't. I can't even fake like I care. So the bird says, Cody and I, Cody and I, oh, wait, she didn't cry. Cody and I, we never chose monogamy. We didn't, we didn't choose it. I just saw the way I looked when I did that. I don't need to be laughing because my voice is already gone from having a very fun weekend. And as a result of that, yeah, I'm even more lower than before. But they didn't choose monogamy, but their actions did. He was at her house all the time, focusing on her and her kids all the time, not showing up for the others, not going to surgeries. He treated her differently than he treated the others. If he were to treat her the way that we saw him treat Mary and even Christine and even sometimes Janelle, she wouldn't have put up with it. So Mary at this point is coming out swinging because she says that she didn't choose this. What she did do instead is finally choose herself because she realized that she didn't have a relationship with Cody and that she barely had one with Robin. Look how long it took for her to admit that. Look at how many seasons in it is for her to realize I didn't barely have a relationship with either one of them. She says, and I wasn't about to stick around just so she can keep saying she lives polygamy. I said, oh, Mary. Mary is finally like, it's about time, girl. It's about time. So we jump to Christine, who at this point is talking about how good marriage is. She said that, a lot of people say that your first year of marriage is the hardest, but she and her husband didn't really have a lot of issues with one another. The hardest thing, and even David says this about their marriage, was dealing with the loss of Garrison because it brought up things and he saw things and he saw how much it affected the family as well as her. And even when he mentions it in that moment, she gets very teary eyed. It's something that is very present in some of their lives. And I'm saying some because I feel like certain people have their words compartmentalize their feelings on certain things. So I don't feel like they're feeling the same level of emotions as others. And by certain people, I'm talking about the feathers. So Mary at this point has been gone living at the bread and breakfast for a year and a half. Nothing has changed except the fact that that's no longer a bed and breakfast. It's her home. She still has good relationships with some members of the family and non-existent ones with others. We see her getting ready for her speed date, for a soulmate. She says she wants someone who's tall, kind, outgoing, confident, with kind eyes. You can look into someone's eyes and tell if they're kind. You'd miss that mark with your husband, but okay. And it sounds like she wants the opposite of Cody. They head to go en route because it's going to be in Salt Lake. As they're en route, Jen does various speed dating scenarios with Mary. And while she's talking, she thinks about like, when do I tell them that my ex-husband and I were polygamous and that there's all these kids and this and this. Like, when do I say that? When do I bring that up? And Jen is like, that's not something that you need to talk about right away. And we see Christine say that as well. Um, Mary tells us that she had a man that she was interested in, and he was interested in her. And once he realized who she was and found out about her past in polygamy, he no longer wanted to be bothered with her. And for the first time, she realized that her being a polygamist could be an issue. As I heard her talking about it, I said to myself, that is heavy. But I feel like that's something that comes with a lot of unpacking, and that's something that she should do with a therapist. Talk to someone who can help you navigate those waters, because at some point you're going to have to say something. But like Christine said, you don't want that to be your first date. And I think Jen said it too. So the Coyote Pass situation comes up. I'm going to skip a whole bunch of stuff. We know that Mary wants it to be done. We know that Janelle wants it to be done. Bald Eagle lets us know that Janelle still has stuff on the property, and it's a lot of it because it's her RV stuff. Janelle, on the other hand, does not agree. She says it's his. According to him, they, and when he says they, he's talking about Mary and Janelle. He never includes Robin in on the negative parts, because the same way he's going to say they want me to clean it up, he can include Robin in that number. So he says they expect him to clean it up, and he's not motivated to do it because they haven't been kind. The moment that I heard him say this, I said nothing has changed about this man, other than the fact that during the episode, I noticed that he has a lot more thinning going on up here. Like, I was tempted to take a picture of it and, and use it as the image, because he kept bending down his head like this, and you see this whole path. Like, there was a lot going on there. As far as I'm concerned, the fact that he has this humongous house in which he lives in, and those ladies did not sue him or come after him or expose him for all the crap that they've done, shows that they are very kind. Because it's very clear that the Feathered Crew took funds from the OG3 and have left them with barely anything, but you're calling them mean and nasty and saying stuff like that. I also don't understand why we're still talking about Coyote Pass when, spoiler alert, it's been sold. Like, they sold it. Why are we talking about it? It's sold. I don't know. Anyways, so Janelle is in North Carolina enjoying herself. She's trying to get to know people. She's going out there more. She's exploring things in the city. She no longer feels drawn to Cody, so much so that she is now considering a spiritual divorce. She knows that Mary got one, so she connected with Mary, and Mary is helping her out with that. I said, good to know. Hurry up and get it so you could actually be done with him, Janelle. So Janelle says that she feels like polygamy would probably go away if it were a case where it was legalized, and any wife, not just the one that married him first, but any wife had access to the money. I think she's right. And I think that if it were made that way, and if Robin never became the legal wife, I think that they would have been a lot better off once they left him. The only thing with them not having that piece of paper is that it made it easier for them to go away, but their money is still so intertwined, and they lost out on a lot of things. And he and Robin, in my opinion, still got the greater share of stuff. Like Caleb said, it should be fair. And Janelle says it's only fair when he gets, more of it, or when it benefits him. I think that's very much so a real thing. And the fact that you all have realized this and you haven't gone after more from him, I wonder why. So Janelle says her being in North Carolina actually worked out, because after Garrison's death, she just feels like it would have been really, really hard to be there. She is glad, however, that they buried him in Wyoming, and that almost everyone made it. So she tells us that there are times where she's having a really good time, and then there are some nights where it's really, really rough. It sounds very much so like grief. I was telling someone from my church this earlier today when I spoke with them, that I think one of the hardest things about grief is sometimes you never know when the sadness or heaviness or weight of it is going to hit you. And when it does, sometimes it could feel like it's debilitating. My brother has been gone for several years now, and the simplest sound, or sometimes I could hear his laugh, or I may think of something that just will break me down. And then there's other times where I can think of that same laugh and do nothing but laugh thinking of it, or the raspiness and the deepness of his voice. Like there's little things that come back to mind that in one instance can bring joy, in another instance can bring sadness. And it sounds to me like that's what Janelle is experiencing. But one of the things that I love is that she's surrounded by Maddie and Caleb and her grandkids. And I hope that Janelle is getting help so that she can kind of navigate through it. So we hear from Maddie. Oh my goodness, y'all. Maddie is my girl. I always talk about how much I love Hunter, but over the years, I've enjoyed Maddie too, right? Even more so once all this stuff transpired and the way Maddie handled herself and created boundaries for herself and for her family. So Maddie says that after the funeral, she was talking to Leon because Garrison's death showed them a lot. And one of the things that she realized is that Leon has kind of accepted this whole situation. Like, just it is what it is. Whereas with Maddie, she's in a space where she can control her reaction. She feels sad for him and Robin's kids. Notice in that flashback, she did not say for Robin, she said for Robin's kids. But in the present moment, she is getting choked up and she is crying and she is giving us raw emotion because she points out that any kid wants their father to show up. You want your dad to show up and you want reconciliation. And she's thinking about everything. And she says that she does feel like she played a part, but she's angry because she's trying to learn not to be so disappointed. I personally do not feel like Maddie played any part in it. I think that Cody has this way of guilting these young adults for things that has nothing to do with them. Maddie developed the relationship that she developed with Christine. It is not Maddie's fault that Christine told her that she was leaving before she told you, because that's one of the main things that we heard him saying about Maddie was Maddie knew first, and Maddie was spreading this and Maddie was spreading that. And I don't think that that's what Maddie was doing. Maddie says that she is still trying to see him for who he is. She's still thinking that, maybe he didn't know how to show up and he might be hurting as well. I'm trying to hear her out, but I personally don't agree with the fact that Cody didn't know how to show up. And the reason why I say that is because Cody knew how to show up when it came to Robin and her kids. So if he knew how to show up for them, who came along much later in life, who he had to change his role with them, who he originally would have been their bonus dad, who then went to adopt them, who then made sure that he spent extra time with them to make them feel acclimated and went out there and had this and did that and took longer vacations with them and all these other things. If he was able to take Saul to get his teeth pulled, whereas he couldn't even stay at the hospital when Truly was going through all her stuff, or even go and visit Isabel. Like, he's shown time and time again that it's not that he can't do it, it's that he doesn't want to. It's not that he doesn't know how to, it's that he doesn't want to. But part of me also has to remember that this is her dad. And naturally, it may be easier for her to process things if she thinks of it from that standpoint, because Maddie was closer to her dad than some of the other kids. Leon was close to their father as well, but at some point, something changed. And I don't know if it was during Leon's transition, because I remember when all that catfish stuff started going on, Leon had a reason to be, but Leon was extra pissed with their mom and taking Cody's side. And to see now where Mary has stood in Leon's corner and still has a relationship with them, and Cody seems to not really interact with them as much, makes me feel like there's more to that situation than we've been told. So we go from that to them jumping to the bald eagle, who is talking about wanting to have a better relationship with his children that he had with those ex-wives. I said, it is the way that he says things. Why do they have to be those ex-wives and not just my children? I think that it is very telling how he operates. I look at my dad, right? My dad is no longer with my mother. They got divorced when I was like 8, 7 or 8. Can't even remember. But I know I was young. With that being said, he is not with my mom. If you talk to my siblings are going to tell you that I have the closest relationship with my father. Why? Because him being with my mother or not being with my mom did not affect the way that he poured into me. It did not affect the way that he parented me, except for at times he had to do it from a distance. And of course, that comes with the military and everything else. But the point is, it did not damage our relationship in that regard, because he put forth effort, because he went the extra mile. But Cody doesn't do that because he wants people to come to him. So Cody then says that he's learned to compartmentalize the heartbreak. What book did you come up with that from? What, like what book? This orange nail. Y'all, I know this is what happens to me, right? I've seen this orange nail a couple times now, right? I have. I was in the store earlier trying to figure out what color, if I wanted to do color on my nails. So I just painted this one nail, and then I broke like 2 of my nails. So then I'm like, okay, it's no point in me even figuring out anything, because I'm gonna have to cut them off, because I'm one of those people who, if all my nails aren't the same length, it drives me nuts. Yeah. Anyways, so with that being said, don't mind my orange nail. It's pretty though, right? So back to my notes. He claims he wants healing with his kids and his exes, but he feels like it can only happen on their terms. It can only happen on his terms. We saw when Garrison tried to talk to him and he flipped it. We saw when Gabriel tried to talk to him and he flipped it. We saw when Janelle tried to talk to him and he flipped it with her and walked out. We saw what he did to Christine when Christine tried to talk to him, then tried to embarrass her in front of everybody, then tried to do that whole knife in the kidney thing. So, when exactly were they not trying with you? We saw when the ladies decided that they were going to come together to get a rental for the holidays, and how you weren't willing to go over there and see your kids. We saw how you and Robin weren't even willing to work with Mary and have all the kids come over to her house for Christmas Eve. So when exactly did you try to work things out? We saw how you were at the burial ground for your son, and Garrison and Logan tried to help you and you didn't want their help. So when exactly did you try to work things out? And here's the thing. Logan don't even have an issue with him, because Logan dipped off as soon as he went to college. His experience is different. But we saw instances where they tried and you didn't. But now you want to have healthier relationships because you're thinking if you say this crap for season 20, that it will allow you to continue playing in our faces for at least a couple more seasons. And I think I saw in the comments where somebody said they're currently filming for season 21. I think that it's very much so going to work. They're going to stuff these feather people down our throats. So, we flash from that to finding out that they're celebrating this whole move to North Carolina as well as the purchase of their property. So Janelle's sister and husband are there. David, Christine, Aspen, Mitch, Truly, and Peyton are there also. We find out Maddie is going to be running a marathon. The fact that Maddie has given birth as recently as she has, and she's about to run a marathon, Maddie is a beast. She is. She really, really is. So David decides to race Maddie. And Janelle doesn't think that he's going to win. She thinks he's all talk. I think that something about David reminds Janelle of Cody because she seemed at times when she was talking about him to be a little annoyed by him. But I could be wrong. You all tell me what you think. So she says that she feels like he's a lot like Cody, like he's all talk. But then he runs and he actually does beat Maddie. So he's not all talk. Y'all think just because somebody's older that means something? My father been outrunning us all his life. All his life. Like all his life. If we were to try to do it now and we were all gonna line up, grandkids included, he would still outrun all of us. It's what he does. It like yeah, especially run. Yeah. So I wasn't surprised. I actually was impressed. I'm like, okay, David, I see you, boy. Go ahead, show her how it's done. So Janelle talks about David's confidence kind of a little negatively and how he feel like he can do everything. And Christine basically says like that's one of the things that she, loves about him. Like she loves a confident man. Um we hear about the property being bought. They pull out something to look at it. We find out that they have two major goals, which is to build their homes and build out on the farm. On the farm, Janelle at one point hopes they can have cabins and make it a gathering place. She wants a barn and animals and flower gardens. They want to maybe call one of the roads Bob after Garrison because of his real name. They wanted to add a quiet section in the flower garden and dedicate it to people who I think they said lost the struggle with mental health. And when I heard her say that, I was like, that's beautiful. It's just beautiful because it's a very real thing that plagues a lot of people. So they head to the property, they toast out there, and Christine is worrying about the competition of where everybody's going to gather. I don't know if this is a joke or if she's serious, but either way, I know that people are going to have a problem with it. If she was serious, get it together, Christine. If it was a joke, so Janelle isn't worried about the competition. Janelle just wants her home built and she wants things done so that they have a space that they can all fit. So next, oh, goodness gracious, we get stuck with this long behind scene of the bald eagle and Robin as they go out to dinner. Do they do anything other than eat? I mean, we saw the one time where they done the fun activity with the ATV and the bird went soaring. I can see that again. But what else did they do? I'm picturing. Okay, okay. I was just picturing that. I gotta go back and watch it now. I was picturing that episode where she went flying. Okay, okay. Okay. So we find out that Robin is okay because Cody goes to cut something and she's like, oh, can you cut that for me? And he's like, I gotta use your knife because I lick mine. And she's like, I'm okay with your licking. And then she's like, ooh, that doesn't sound good. And she's like, well, are you okay with my licking? And he's okay with her licking too. And I'm just like, Y'all won't trying to do none of this before. Don't sit here and try to do this now because I'm grossed out. I'm grossed out. So we keep hearing again about her supposedly being shy while Cody wants to do all this affection. Chick, you're not shy. You're not. Next, it's her being asked if they're going to live plural marriage. And her response is, I don't know. It's still a part of, me. And I wouldn't have chosen to be monogamous. I wouldn't. We then hear again about all of these supposed proposals that Robin had. Robin was divorced for all of 5 minutes. So I'm not buying that in their community where divorce is frowned upon, this mother of three had all these people wanting to marry her. I do not buy it. I don't. She then says she would have been she wouldn't have been with Cody if he wasn't in a plural marriage because that's something that she wanted. Like the other many men who were coming to her wanted monogamy and she didn't want that. So now she's undecided. But she doesn't know. He's like, well, do you want, would you want polygamy again? And she's like, if you can guarantee that, everything lines up and everything works, and if you can guarantee that it will work out, I will consider it. This is very much so giving we're filming a scene because you keep going back and forth on your stance on this because you wouldn't consider it, you wouldn't consider it, you don't know, it have to be this is like I'm tired of hearing it would have to be like the perfect situation when you already know it's not going to ever be the perfect situation. So in my mind, you're lying. So Cody feels like they have something special that they share, and he just doesn't want to risk it. Only thing he's willing to risk it for is that if he wants, maybe more than she does, and she's like, more sex. He admits that his only motivation in adding somebody else would be that she's good looking. Robin, understand that that was his motivation for you. That's my opinion. Tell me yours. So Cody says a polygamist is always getting more than he wants, and a monogamist isn't getting enough. I said, oh, hold on a second. Robin, you aren't doing enough love. You're not cooking like Christine. You're not giving the friendship like Janelle. You're not staying organized like Mary, and you're not performing your duties the way that you did when you first got him. Because he said that's what I read there, but I could be reading too much into it. Y'all let me know. Anyways, overall, what I gained from the conversation is nothing. I said we don't care about this ish. We know you aren't getting another wife. We already knew that he doesn't want anybody else. He's told us this season after season. He tells us that whoever the girl is would have to adore Robin so much that he wouldn't have to worry about that girl competing for his love and affection. He says that with plural marriage, he doesn't feel like the ladies will get along once he's in both of their beds because that's what happened with Robin. Robin was welcome until they went on their honeymoon, but she was in she wasn't in his bed. He was in her bed. I'm a legend. He sampled that cookie before the honeymoon. So I don't believe that. I already said nobody's driving 5 hours just to eat cocoa, drink cocoa with you, and put a little string ring on you. That's not happening. So Cody then at some point calls the sister wives sister witches. Y'all know he wanted to put a B there, right? Robin's like, don't say that. Janelle owns the word. Okay, Janelle, I ain't mad at it. So he says that what they did with the honeymoon, it wasn't fair to her. And I'm not saying it was fair. It's just the lifestyle we all chose. Deal with it. They're gone. She's here. I'm moving on. I'm monogamous, and it pisses me off. He did piss, piss, piss. It pisses me. It pisses me off when people ask me why I want to be monogamous still. Who is asking him that? Are people asking him that, or is Robin's family asking him that? Because I don't really feel like we care. We already know you want to be a monogamous, sir. If they watch the show, they would know that. I guess they're not watching the show. He says, Robin, I'm done because the idea of this it breaks my heart. It's you and me, baby. Will monogamy work for you? I'm good. Sounds good. No, will it work? Will it work for you? I'm good. 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 I said, oh my goodness. So she says she's good. Good, 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 good. And we cut to her in the confession, and she's telling us, it's a challenge. It was a challenge for me to say that. It's a challenge to say that I'm done with polygamy. I don't know. I'm still wondering. I said, oh, don't drop the phone. Look, I'm doing too much. I said, girl, you're playing games. You're playing games with us. But that's all I have for this episode. If there's something that I left out that you want to talk about, feel free to put it down below. Like the video as it helps me in the algorithm. You guys, shout out to you all. Shout out to every last one of you. I didn't know until earlier when I was trying to answer some comments. I got 3,000 subscribers, y'all. Woo! Woo! We did it. We did it. This is why I don't have no voice now. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. It's been a slow and steady climb, and it means more to me than you guys know. This has been a really great month for me in terms of the channel, because Christine's book, like, not to say it like that, because I've read books on the channel. Christine's book had me, I gained like 500 followers in this month. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to the OG fam and the new G fam. I appreciate you guys. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling so this can upload within the hour so I can take a shower, upload it, and then be like, night night. Thank you guys so much. I'm rambling. Love y'all. Until next time.